Welcome, Badass Manifester. I am so glad you are here. I'm your host and head coach, Ashley Gordon, master mindset and manifestation biz expert, founder of the Quantum Coaching certification, and multiple six-figure entrepreneur obsessed with empowering you to create quantum leaps in your energy, your life, and your business. This is the show to help you make magic your everyday normal, where the ripple effect is real and the guest experts are world class. My mission is to power your conscious and subconscious mind with manifestation teachings, business tools, and coaching techniques to put your potential into action. Consider this your weekly up level. Are you ready for quantum transformation? Let's do this. I'm so excited.
Me too.
So, hello everyone. Welcome to a very special event. A behind the scenes event, I should preface. And I'm going to try and pull it up on my phone just so I can see the Facebook group and make sure that we're good. Yep, we're live. Okay. So I'm super pumped to introduce you to Taylor Slango. She is an amazing business mentor, one of my biz besties, and she was my business coach for over a year in 2021. And she is literally the reason, and her program, 5-Figure Flow, is the reason why we went from 100K launches to 300K launches and beyond. And it's from using her method that I'm very passionate about, which is why we're doing this whole entire thing, because basically Taylor asked if I wanted to be an affiliate for 5-Figure Flow. And I was like, yes, of course, let's do this, because her program, like I just shared, changed our business. It changed the way we launch, changed the revenue that comes in, and really just changed the game for us. And so I was like, yes, this is a no-brainer. It fit into the launch calendar. And I was like, let's do this. And then a couple weeks, or like last week, I texted you and I was like, can we chat about content planning? And you were like, yeah. And you said, why don't you take people behind the scenes of your business? Remember?
Yep.
And I was like thinking about this. And I'm like, oh my gosh, let's really go behind the scenes. Because I don't really share behind the scenes stuff anymore. I'm really like sharing about coaching, Quantum Coaching Academy, how to be a powerful coach, all of that. And I was like, okay, Taylor, we're going to do something really meta. I'm going to be an affiliate for 5-Figure Flow. And she's going to live coach me on our next launch process for the Quantum Coaching Academy, like on our strategy, on how we're going to plan the whole launch. And you're going to really get to see behind the scenes of the business, and you're going to get to see behind the scenes of 5-Figure Flow. And I'm like, this is a genius idea.
So genius. You're like, is it too meta? I'm like, not at all. Literally not at all.
So this is going to be really fun, because this is going to be raw, like unedited, raw. You're going to really hear the ideas that I have moving forward, and the strategy that she's going to coach me on to like how we're going to launch QCA using 5-Figure Flow method.
So cool. Ashley was like asking me, do you want my ideas? Like, do you want to debrief ahead of time? And I was like, honestly, no, I just want to be on the spot, off the cuff, just like we would be as if we were not recording a podcast episode.
Yes.
So I know nothing. I mean, I know some things because obviously I know the program, but
yeah. And just to kind of give everyone an idea about 5-Figure Flow, which is Taylor's signature program, we implemented her program in 2021, and it gave us everything we needed, like a very clear launch plan of different styles of launching, whether you're having a challenge, whether you're having a webinar, whether you're having a waitlist launch, whether you're having, I don't know, there's so many.
So many.
And all of our email templates were given to us and refined from her program. All of the what to do when, all the social media planning she gives you, every single prompt to make your own. And what I love about it so much is like, it's a framework that you get to take and create with, right? It's not like, hey, use this exact wording because this wording is going to like, like it's really about making it your own. And that's exactly what we did. And it freaking works. And I think so many people struggle with launching and they're like copying other people, or they think they know what they're doing. And like, I was that person because I was throwing spaghetti against the wall for so long, hoping and praying. So I just want to say
see
that.
some of your emails come through and I'm like, that's a 5-figure flow subject line. Like, you know what I mean? It's so cool. But then you open the email and I'm like, she's really infused her into it. Like it's unrecognizable, but the foundation is the same. And I think that is such a cool part of it.
Yeah. And it takes out the guesswork of like what goes into an email after someone registers for your live event. You don't have to think about all the details because there are so many. It's templated in there and you get to put your flair on it.
Yeah.
You know? So, I'm a huge fan, obviously.
Thanks, obviously.
Yeah.
Everyone needs it, hands down.
Yes. And I know you just redid the whole program, and we'll continue to like talk about the program as we kind of like
for sure
go into some of this launch planning. So where should we start?
Why don't you give me like a summary of this last launch of like what worked, what are the holes, and then what are some of your ideas going into the next one?
Okay. So since the first time we implemented 5-figure flow like into our launch plan, it's worked so well that I literally have not changed a thing about the way that I've launched in like, I don't know, 6 cohorts.
That's amazing.
Right. So
team is probably like, thank God.
Yeah, my team is like stoked. I mean, we've upgraded, graphics and stuff, but yeah, so it's worked really, really well. And it really wasn't until last launch that I was like, I feel a little bit bored. Normal. And I feel like I'm not getting the traction as far as like people actually showing up to the live event inside the Facebook group. So we had so many people register for the event, like over 1,000 people registered, and to have like 10 people live with me just didn't feel complete in a way.
Yeah.
So we're thinking about tweaking the time of the live event, but back to what's worked. What's worked is just like the consistency in the message, and in like we started off with 3-day live event called Big Coach Energy Live, as you know.
Yep.
And then it turned into a 4-day live event because I just kept adding days to it, adding like ideas. And then it turned in, this most recent one was a 5-day live event. And it was like the least engaged one that we had. So 3 days always felt really good to me. 5 days felt like a lot, like it felt like a lot, but we had added so much more to the program that I wanted to make sure that we highlighted the things that were in the program. Does that make sense?
Totally.
So for everyone listening, like, our launch style was very much so like live launch, 3-day event, training. And then on the last day we sold, but we would always open cart in the middle of the training or open applications, I should say, because QC is application only. And so I just wasn't super satisfied with like the turnout of the last launch event. And I really want to make it different. I want to make it more engaging, and I have ideas, but I'll just
pause. Me too. Already circulating, but
okay. Great. So 2 things, and these are like kind of separate, but kind of similar. So 1, we do want to implement a webinar, like a masterclass.
Yeah.
And I also want to have a live launch event at the same time. So I don't want the masterclass. I don't think I want the masterclass to be the live launch event, but I want it to be part of the launch. So like doing a 3 or 5-day event with a masterclass at some point, whether it's first in
live or pre-recorded.
Live.
Okay, perfect.
I would do it live because I want it to be an evergreen webinar.
Yep.
That continues to run. So
I want to also, for them listening, like this is the way, the lens that you want to be planning your launch. I just did Instagram stories on this, so this is perfect. Like live launching is step one to going evergreen. So when you're creating these assets and planning your launch event, it can be through the lens of, after I'm done with it live, this becomes an asset that goes into a funnel, that goes into a bigger strategy in your business. So I love this.
Yes. That's the plan.
Yeah.
Exactly. So the idea that we had was to turn Big Coach Energy live, which was very, very informative. And each training was like an hour long, to turn it into potentially 5 days of like really tangible action items where it's like take the method of QCA and break it down into the 5 days, because it's the 5-part method, and basically like take each part of the method and give them a homework to like go home and implement right away, and then talk about it. It's not fully formed yet, but like
More like challenge style.
Challenge style. Like I challenge you to listen today, right? Just like use the skill of listening in your life and in your business and with your clients, right? And like teach them a little bit about listening and take it out of the program essentially. And then give the skill to them as like challenge homework of like, just listen today without responding for the whole day.
Oh, that's a hard challenge.
Right? Like just hear what people are saying. That's all you have to do today. Like with your clients, just listen more, talk less, like really giving them something to work with as a coach.
It's like their coach training integration almost.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I realized that that's kind of for someone that, it could be for someone that's brand new. So the master class is for like the newbie who's like, I want to be a coach, like, and just, they want to be the dream coach. It's going to be called Dream Coach Masterclass.
Oh, I love it.
You like it?
Yeah. I would put that before BCE.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. So like in the new 5-figure flow, I teach something called a layered launch. And especially if you're either potentially talking to 2 different avatars or people in their journey, or you're just trying to like cast a wider net with your events, like having 2 different points that are a little bit separate from one another. So like I might have the master class and your push for that is for 2 weeks. And then like BCE live, I would have probably like 2 weeks after that to give some space where they each have their own real estate, but also connecting them of like when someone signs up for the master class, they're email invited or even automatically enrolled into the multi-day series.
Love that. Okay. That was like one of my biggest questions was like, where do I put it? And then I personally don't want to burn myself out with like promoting 2 free events back to back. And I don't know how that's going to feel for me.
Right. I mean, you could space them out further and test, like you could do them a month apart if you wanted to, and really spend like the whole first 1 month pointing to the master class, then the whole second month pointing to BCE. It's just how long do you want to not drag it out, but like, is your energy going to sustain over that time?
And I was also thinking about having the masterclass first to have that be thinking about like long-term for the business, like making it evergreen, have that be for the early enrollment pricing.
Oh, I like that.
Because that would create the urgency of like, this is the masterclass for early enrollment pricing. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay.
And then I had another question, but it's gone. Okay, keep going.
And just for those of you listening, like you want to make sure that if you are, doing 2, I would say I'm curious what your thoughts are. Like you have to have some sort of urgency. Like they can't just be the same thing. If you're having 2 launch events, I don't know, maybe they could be.
I'm like, they totally could be. They could be. Like the way I think about urgency is like they come in waves. And so like, for example, my mastermind, people can join at any time, but if you join this month, like you get a private call with me. If you joined last month, you didn't get that. If you joined 2 months ago from now, you might get it again. It's almost like a special in a store of like, you never know when it's coming back. But I think just communicating that like they have between this window while they're like hot and ready. And I think like even for a live masterclass, like encouraging a live show up, opening it, and even having some sort of like, by the end of this masterclass, if you like fill out your application, you get this bonus, and just like really tying it to that specific event.
Yes. Okay. That makes sense.
So I think you could do early bird twice, or you could do something completely different for BCE.
Okay. Okay. So when you were like, I have an idea, what was your idea?
Well, I think, yeah, like show up rates, all the things, like I guess BCE, I think you could totally accompany it with a private podcast if you don't already. I don't know if you put the replays on your podcast. But also for anyone listening and for you, like that show up rate is so normal. Like it's extremely low, but that's just like the going rate of people actually signing up for the launch event. But secondary to that, it's like, how can we make it more of an interactive experience of like, when they come live, they get points. When they comment, they get points. When they do their homework, like, do you ever gamify it in that way?
I always gamify it because I learned that from you.
Okay. And do people like participate in the giveaways?
They do. They definitely do. Yeah. So the giveaway that we've done for a long time, or for the whole time, is, which I learned from you, is like, to do a giveaway is like so powerful because it creates that engagement. And so I always reference the giveaway and how my team is like looking at everything, and they have a spreadsheet of like every single tally of the points. And we do 3 prizes, $200, $300, and $500 towards QCA, along with swag, like, and a hat and a sweatshirt, like with those prizes. And I always end up giving 6 away. Usually, because there's so many people that engage and it's hard to pick.
Right.
But we do that and it works. And it also, the winners, if they weren't going to apply to QCA, then they're more incentivized to apply, because then they have this coupon code to apply. So it does actually help with pulling people off the fence.
My thought is like, so when I'm doing the giveaways, I do 3 winners and 3 things, but I never give away 5-figure flow. And I do a variety, because you have to think too, like you run ads. And so that's a big piece of it too. You have cold people coming in, and I want the cold people paying attention. So if I'm offering half off 5-figure flow, that might like really incentivize people who already know what that is. But people coming in cold for this free event of like, you're going to get this off this paid program, it might actually deter them rather than like encouraging them, because they're like, do you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I could definitely see it working both ways.
And so maybe if you do 5 winners, like 2 of them get or maybe they all get a monetary discount paired with something else as like the focal point.
Right.
And the discount is almost like a surprise. Yeah, like we do Starbucks gift cards or Etsy gift cards or calls with me or something like that. And it's always like a variety. And then in the delivery email, we say like, you get points for watching the replay, you get points for showing up live, you get a point for comment, you get 5 points. Like it's really laid out for them where they know how to like rack up the points. Is that the same with BCE?
No, just because there's so much engagement, I feel like that would be so hard to track.
Yeah.
But we could definitely try that. Like,
so there's a lot of engagement on the replays then. It's just not live.
The replays would go pretty big. Yeah.
Okay. That's great. I mean, that closes the gap for sure.
There is engagement on the live, because like there is engagement on the live, but there's more engagement, I would say, on the replay.
And have you ever invited people onto the Zoom link with you, or is it always just live streamed?
That's my other question that I have. It's always been live streamed into the Facebook group, just like we're doing now.
Great.
Hello, everyone watching. Nancy said she wanted a giveaway. She did. And she joined.
Yay.
I should do some like data on that. Like how many like monetary giveaways we did and how many people joined versus not. I feel like that would be good.
And were those people new? Like, have they been in your community for a while?
Right.
I would be curious to know that.
Okay. We'll start tracking that. What was I just saying? Oh, hosting it. So I've always hosted it into the Facebook group. And that's been my other question. Like maybe people don't want to join a live event and then join a Facebook group. Maybe they just want to join a Zoom. Where are you hosting launch party weekend?
I know, in my Facebook group.
Okay.
And I always usually will email out the Zoom link too. So if people want to join on Zoom, they can just pop in. I think the Facebook group like question is one I don't have the perfect answer to, because I wish we could like replicate the format of a Facebook group outside of Facebook. Like I love the structure, the organization, the community. We're all there for a reason. I've tested over the years hosting it in my main Facebook group versus a pop-up Facebook group.
Yeah.
And I haven't really seen too much of a big difference there, but I think it's worth, especially for you, emailing out the Zoom link and giving them the option of like, you can catch the live streams here, or you can join live. And then, like you said, you're going to be doing it later in the evening, which I think is going to make a big difference too.
Yeah, I'm excited for that tweak of like, just so if you're listening and if you've been to Big Coach Energy Live, we always post at 12 p.m. Eastern time. And now we're going to do it in the evening, probably like 7 p.m. So see what happens with the turnout rates there. And the only reason I decided to tweak that is when we always host like a Q&A session for Quantum Coaching Academy, and we do it in the evening, and it's usually a really good turnout. So I'm like, okay.
And I think you could even make it really timely if you're going to go more challenge format of like, here's homework and integration. Like if it's 5 days, I would give everyone probably to like the 7th or 8th day, but give them like a clear transformation,
Right.
and maybe even like the grand prize of like everybody who does all 5 days, like in the timely manner and shows up, is eligible for, you know, something. But I think like positioning it of like, come through completion, and that's how you're going to win, because this is basically, and I almost actually did this with Launch Party Week, positioned it as a master course. Like this is a course, a free course that I could package up, and maybe playing with that language too.
I love that. Yeah, because I wasn't set on like challenge, even though it does feel like a challenge.
Right.
So yeah, I would love to like hash out this idea a little bit more. And also for you listening, like this is the fun part of launching, because you get to be creative. Taylor is one of the most innovative launch people I've ever met. Like you have just so many, like she's comparing her like your Eras tour. Like, can you just tell me that?
I actually texted Ashley about this like probably 3 months ago, and I was like, what if I do my own Eras tour, but like go through the eras of like different launch strategies and seasons of business, and then compare them to Taylor Swift albums and tie it together. And we did that in a podcast episode, and it was really fun. But like, that's also, you have to think like, it's all about framing. And like, you teach probably a lot of this in QCA of like, I could say like, let me walk you through the past 5 years of launching. Or I could say like, let's go through the eras. Now I'm also speaking to Swifties, and those people are going to get on with me because we have the same interests. Like it's finding the common denominator in the way that you're framing it and speaking someone else's language, so they want to come.
Yes. Oh my God. So good.
Do you ever do an upsell after BCE? Like what if you did like a VIP upgrade?
No. What do you mean?
Like on the thank you page, having something like, you know, upgrade to an all access pass or a VIP something. And then they could either get like, everyone who gets that could get, it could even be like a 5-day group chat with you behind the scenes of like debriefing after BCE of like just some more like high level insider stuff, but just thinking, how can you plant some smaller yeses to get people like really committed to the experience?
That's really cool. And what would you like, what would an upsell like that be? Like,
well, can you talk me through the 5 days of the content?
Yeah. So, and I'm not even sure, and I don't even know if I want to call it Big Coach Energy Live.
Okay.
I don't know what to call it. Honestly, I'm in this like, should I call it that? Should I not? I don't know. Really obsessed with everything that's happening with like the webinar Dream Coach Masterclass, like obsessed with the way that that's coming out. Really, really stoked on that. And a lot of that is we've changed the old Big Coach Energy Live, and we're kind of plugging that in to that masterclass in a way, but changing it completely. And does that make sense?
Yeah.
So for the 5 days, the first day would be about energy. So the whole method is energy entrainment. What's my method? Equanimity. And no, energy entrainment, engagement, equanimity, any encompass, and ecology. It's actually 6. So I would have to condense it. 6 rings around the bullseye. Did I go too fast?
No, you didn't go too fast. I'm just like giggling because I don't know what half those words actually mean.
Cool.
So
So let
I'm
me
like,
tell you. But like, so each embodied energy would be, I would teach about embodied energy and how to infuse that into yourself and into your clients and into your coaching. And then there'd be some sort of like challenge for that day. I don't know exactly what it would be yet. And then day 2 is all about entrainment, how it's about building rapport. So I would teach
okay.
a little bit about rapport, and then they would practice rapport in the world. So like they would actually be getting coaching skills and then going out and practicing them. So it is like
You ever watch Impractical Jokers?
Yeah, love that show.
It reminds me of that almost. Like,
Okay.
okay, go out and do this. And like, can you even make like, I don't know. I don't know if there's a way to be like, go film yourself and post it in the group, or like, you know what I mean? Like engaging them that way of like proof, show me proof. And like, can it be funny and can it be light and like not intimidating?
Oh my God. What if we did host it in the Zoom and like people actually came into the Zoom, we could do breakout rooms.
Yeah. Oh, like you could do it right there on the spot.
Right there on the spot. Like
So it's really like a workshop event.
It really is. Like, I mean, like, that's why I was thinking when I was originally thinking of this idea, should it be paid? Because like,
I see what you mean.
It's really going to be like, this is really what QCA is like. You're going to learn something, you're going to see it demoed, then you're going to practice it. And I don't know if we can do all of that, but you're going to learn something and you're going to practice it.
Right. Okay, my fork in the road in my mind is going to like, there's 2 ways to do launch events in terms of content. You can take like extractions of your program and give them like catnip little, a micro experience of what they'll get. Or you could either give them like what they need before that, or like demonstrating why the program is necessary. So
Right.
I'm almost like entertaining just for a second. Like, what if it wasn't teaching your process? What if it was something completely different that like set them up for QCA? Does anything come to mind?
Yeah. So thank you for saying that, because I did, or that was the original idea. Ashley Nella is the one who sparked this, which is our Facebook ads manager.
Yeah.
And she's like, make it actionable. And then it got me thinking about visibility. Right. So it's like helping people get comfortable getting visible, to put themselves out there, or to at least claim that they're like ready to step into being a coach. Like, what do they need for that? But how does that make someone realize that they need Quantum Coaching Academy? That's where Jenna and I, my team member, was, we were like brainstorming, like, how is it relevant?
Right. Like tying it into,
yeah.
Because I think QCA, so much of that is like, one, if you want to know how to actually facilitate transformation, like you have to have those skill sets. So I'm almost thinking I get a game show every time we talk about this for some reason, of like, test your coaching skills. Like, how good really are you? And like, I don't know if that would like intimidate people, but like that kind of experience could be like, like even like day 1 could be like, map out your coaching offer, and like the structure of it's great, but like, how are you getting them from A to Z with QCA? Like, I don't know if that's like flipping it so far in one direction from where it was.
Sorry, the baby came in.
Like, hi, Todd.
He looks so tired. See if you can get him down for like 30-ish minutes. We have music class at 10:45.
Oh, fun.
Wait, so the game show thing is so funny because like we did that.
I remember a variation of that. Yeah.
Okay. So I see what you're saying, like mapping out your offer. Yeah. But then realizing like you don't have the skills to take people from A to Z. That's why Big Coach Energy Live, I think, is so good the way that it was, because it really like paved the way to like, I need this program.
Yeah. Like, you don't know what you don't know.
Right. So like anyone listening right now, you really want to create your launch events to like what we're trying to figure out right now and brainstorming on is like, how do you pave the way for your clients to know like they have a problem and your program is the solution?
Yeah, 100%. And like, I think people will be like, well, I'll just teach 3 parts of my framework and then leave the 4th one of like, and it's like, it's not to give away everything for free as much as to give them like a micro experience of what to come, like you do with BCE.
Right. Right. Okay. So go ahead.
Well, I'm thinking like if we keep the BCE route, but just change the positioning of it a little bit, like I think there's a lot that you can talk about. Maybe it's a whole day of a topic of like knowing the details of where you want to take someone is actually the easy part because anyone can be like, I want to launch a mastermind that makes people do this and I'm going to charge 10K. Like that's easy and anyone can do it. But like, do you know what's behind that door? And I feel like there's conversations about integrity, about like client transformation, how big of a responsibility is client transformation on you? Like, what can you do as a coach to be as thoughtful as like putting that coaching experience together? And like, I think that can be really tangible in terms of like, even like what ideas do you have? That could be a homework. Then you could be in the Facebook group or Jenna or whoever. And then that's where like, sorry, my mind is like going to a bunch of different places. That's where you could like bring the game show element in of like, this is a great start, but QCA will actually help you with this to bring this experience to life in the way that it really needs to be brought to life. I don't know if that's teetering too much in like offer development though.
Right. Like if people bring their like ideas and then like I'm helping them understand like they don't know how to actually create the transformation
Exactly.
for that.
Yeah.
We
Like
have
you're,
some comments too.
oh, yay. What I don't see them, but what do they say?
Hi Colleen. She said, what about removing blockages to put yourself out there? NLP question mark. Yes, love that. And then Destiny said, I like the game idea. Before I joined QCA, the next top coach thing was so exciting to see.
I loved that. I loved the whole theme, the music. That was one of my favorite things that you've done.
It was honestly so fun to do. I think the problem with that's good to know that you were there for that, Destiny, because I felt like it was all past QCA students. I didn't really feel like it was, I felt like it was just like people like in the stands that were like all QCA alumni.
Okay. Because it's like, how can you maybe take past things that worked and that was its own event, but maybe that just becomes one day of BCE as like America's Next Top Coach.
Oh.
Like maybe that's the final day. And it's like, you want to be on top, join QCA.
And then they can see how coaches coach and that have graduated from QCA.
Oh, and yes, I'm like thinking, could you pull people in of like the first 4 days you're priming for that 5th? Do you want to be on top? It's almost like competition challenge.
Okay.
That would like really encourage probably show up on the final day, which is if that's the day you're pitching, you're going to want people. And that's where most people drop off. It like starts high, but goes low. But I think if like the grand finale was at the end, it would have the reverse effect.
What if it was like teaching people building up to that? Like what would be the build to that? Right. So it's like see how to get confidence in your coaching. Like, I mean, that is big coach energy, like BCE, right? But like,
well, when you have BCE on the page, like, and you have the days, like, what are those titles right now of like day 1 is this?
How to build a 6 and 7 figure business.
Okay.
Which is like through the quantum coaching method. It's about like being a really good coach.
Okay.
And then I've never changed it. It's been the same all the time.
Okay.
You've probably seen it every time and like, is she ever going to change this? Day 2 is all about confessions of a world-class coach, which I'm pretty sure you came up with.
I do love that one.
Yeah. And then day 3 was learn new coaching tools. It was like learning about NLP. And then I went into like selling the program.
Okay. I feel like there's definitely like reworking to do. So like 6 and 7 figure business talking about the QCA method. When you were saying that, I was like, this is the thing that nobody's talking about, is like the skill sets that you bring into and you can even go as far as like maybe titling it as like the number one thing that catapults people into a 7-figure business that nobody is talking about. And I can guarantee you that, like, really like,
Yeah.
pulling.
But that's really in the masterclass now.
Well, I think they're separate things, but I think they can have overlap, because I was even thinking like, what is it? Dream Coach Masterclass. Like you could label a day inside BCE of like how to become the coach that's on someone else's vision board. And I don't think it takes away from the masterclass.
Yes.
And maybe that's day one, how to become the coach that is on someone else's dream board, the QCA method.
I really love that.
And then day 2, because Confessions of a World-Class Coach, like that could be something that turns into like a podcast series or a live stream series in the months leading up to the launch, where maybe you have different coaches and you are both doing confessions rather than just a day, because I love that. And I think it can actually be something bigger in like the priming and warm-up strategy.
Or it could be like an Instagram, social media, lead up.
Yes. Like multi-part posts even. So how to become the coach on someone's vision board, that could be the entry point. You talk about the methodology. Confessions of a World-Class Coach. Maybe it's like, here are the top 3 mistakes I see coaches making that you can avoid from the get-go. And maybe because you're going to talk about rapport, I think it's important to also mention like your coaching reputation is really, really important. And like if people have crappy experiences, like, I don't know if you want to take that angle, but like, it's true. When people have crappy experiences, like they talk a lot about it, a lot more than they usually talk about their really good experiences. So like, how to be really conscious of not just making money and hoping for the best, but like, this is your brand, this is your reputation, like this is your credibility, and how to take that seriously, even if you don't have any clients at all.
That's really good.
Because that could speak to like a lower and higher level lead.
Even if you don't have any clients at all. Taking notes.
I'm glad people are watching this live. You can probably get some live feedback too. Like,
give me feedback.
Yes, I know.
The game show idea is really, really like the whole, like that vibe is exciting.
I loved it.
Game shows are exciting.
I'm trying to think of like other,
it could be called Next Top Coach, but also like leading up to it, it's like how to become a top coach.
Right. Well, in America's Next Top Model, they aren't
Right.
necessarily just thrown in. Like they go for haircuts and makeovers and posing classes and challenges, and like, how can you mimic that entire experience?
Like as the days leading up to the actual event. This sounds fun. I want to feel like excited. You know what I mean? Like that's something that you need in your launches. You need to feel excited.
Your excitement literally always will translate. And so if you're not excited, and especially like if you're not, nobody else is going to be. So you can't be surprised if people are like not responding to your launch event if you're like, this is bad.
And for everyone listening, like what also is running through my head that I just will share out loud is like, oh man, now I need to do all new emails, and now I need to do all new this. We're not like we're not the company, like speaking of reputation, like we do everything to 100, right? We don't cut corners. We're not like, oh, I can skip that email. I can not make that landing page. Like, no, we do every landing page, every email. Like we are exact with it. And 5-figure flow, like just makes it easier. Like I'm going to have so much support when it comes to like pivoting these emails. So I just want to share that like that is running through my head. Like, and it's not something I'm going to have to do. My team is going to have to do it. But if you don't have a team yet, having these email templates that Taylor has in her program are like going to be so freaking helpful for you, because it's literally laid out for you. And I don't have to like think, about, oh, what email goes with this.
Are we missing an email? Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
everyone's favorite part of the program, which
And
I find so funny.
Like, when to send emails before the event, how long before the event, like it's all mapped out in the program, which makes everything so much easier because in my mind, I'm like, oh, that's like a part that always would not
Everyone
like me
hates
up.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you do like an ad event or like public calendar link?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So that's another thing is like looking at the calendar, figuring out, can I pull up my calendar?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
We're like going there. Okay. So y'all are going to see my crazy calendar. No, I'm just kidding. It's not that crazy. Just looks a little crazy.
Used to be crazier.
It really, oh my God. Remember, Taylor?
Yeah.
A lot of it's like baby stuff now.
Yeah, I literally, we used to pull up her calendar and I'd be like, cancel all of it. What are you doing?
Seriously. It's so much better than it ever was, you guys. I can't even tell you. Like I have blank days. I never had that before.
Literally. That's so amazing.
So this is just behind the scenes of how we plan our calendars. Like I map it out. Like we're starting our savings list promotion to get on the QCA savings list October 2nd. And look, we're planning this far in advance, everyone, just so you have an idea. And that goes to the 19th. So I'm thinking that the Dream Coach Masterclass should be towards the end of the savings list promotion. Oh, so the savings list card opens the 23rd till the 30th.
That's a week.
Yeah.
And that's before any like event happens, right?
Correct.
Okay.
So where should the masterclass event go? Like at the start of the week or like?
Yeah. I think in those first 3 days, and then that will give someone 4 or 5 days to join on the savings list. Right? Could they still?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So it wouldn't be the 3-day event. It would be the masterclass, right?
Right.
Okay. Should I do the masterclass once or 3 times?
Oh, wow. I'm like, if you have the energy and you want to test running it a couple times at a few different times and have people like select their time for show up rates, I think it's worth a test. I don't think you have to marry that. But if you're like, I'm doing 2 events and this is already a lot, I think 1 is totally fine. And what you guys will hear, and especially if you ever, if you make your way into 5-figure flow, there's really a menu of things. Like there's always multiple ways to do it. The most important thing is that your energy is behind, that you're not like biting off more that you could chew. And all of it is a test. It's all an experience. Nothing is definitive. Nothing is finite. Like this isn't the end all be all, but like, I find when people are between like, should I do it once or 3 times? That will keep them paralyzed. It doesn't fucking matter. Pick one, try the next one the next time and like call it a day.
So true.
What you could do depending on how many call to actions you want, and this would probably be a test too of like everyone who joins the savings list could automatically be registered for the masterclass. So it's like a 2-in-1. I've done that before with wait lists.
That would make the most sense. And how would it just be a tag that would register them?
Yep.
Okay.
Just double tag them. What do you use for email again?
Kajabi.
Okay. I don't think they have the functionality, but you could potentially have like a checkbox that's like, check me in for the masterclass too, if you wanted them to like have the option.
Who do you use for email? ConvertKit?
MailerLite.
Oh, MailerLite. Okay.
Mm-hmm. But we embed those on Kajabi.
Oh, that's right. Because you got rid of your Kajabi. Right?
Well, no, I just don't use their email anymore, but we still have like websites over there and everything.
Okay, got you. So if Dream Coach Masterclass is here, Big Coach or like the 5-day promotion or whatever the event will be, it was supposed to start on Friday the 20th.
When is it supposed to be? Because I almost want to say I would wait to promote BCE until the savings list cart open is wrapped up.
Okay. So savings list cart open is wrapped up on October 30th.
So the 31st, I would introduce BCE. Unless that's going to fuck up the rest of the timeline.
1, 2. The only thing that we were concerned about, and everyone needs to think about this, is like holidays, right? So it's like,
Mm, mm.
does it make sense? So like if Big Coach Energy Live was going to be this November 6th to the 10th. If I moved it, it would be essentially like the 20th to the 25th, which lands on Thanksgiving.
Right.
And
I
Black
wouldn't do that.
Friday. Like
Yeah.
there's so much going on for Black Friday, so many freaking emails.
How long were you going to give yourself to promote Big Coach Energy?
2 weeks. It's like,
Could you move the last week of October or the first week of October into the last week of September? Or is that too crunchy?
when is the 5-figure? Wait, I have 5-figure flow in here. When does that end?
The 7th.
Of September?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So we could back it up. That crunches our timeline a little bit.
Like if the QCA savings list promo started September 25th.
A week earlier.
Mm-hmm. Because I agree with this timeline. Ideally, you're going to want to have it wrapped up by Thanksgiving.
I'm in the middle of a podcast. He's about to hand me the baby. No, okay.
That's okay. Bring him on. It's okay.
Okay, September 25th
Yeah.
till
How long do you give people to join that?
this card. So it starts October 2nd. It's essentially a month. So
That's
you can start,
interesting.
is that too long?
I don't think you need a month. Yeah.
I feel like it is really long.
It's like, if you're going to give yourself that time, then I would just be promoting the savings list between every single launch all that time. Otherwise, I'd give them 7 to 10 days to get their name on the list.
So I could keep it here, just make it shorter. So it'd be like,
Yeah. I mean, you could even take it to the 13th. Give them 2 weeks. And I'm really excited to see the urgency of like, you don't have all day to add your name to the savings list. Like it's in 2 weeks.
right. It's legitimately a 2-week period. I feel like that time was just like lagging for me. Like it was just like too long to
Yeah.
be where
Yeah.
it's like in the beginning, there were so many people popping in, like savings list, savings list, savings list. And then it like really like fizzled out.
And ideally too, like once they're on the savings list, in the time they opt in and then the time they buy, you want emails for those people too. Like you're on the savings list, now what?
Right. Join this Dream Coach Master. Like you're on the savings.
Yeah.
If they don't buy, they're going to have an opportunity then to still save at the Dream Coach Masterclass. So for those of you all listening, now you know that's the plan.
Literally, I love it. I look at you right now. Like this is goals, everybody. This is literally goals.
Baby. Oh, it's time for his bottle. That's why he's crying. Okay. Well, hold on. Let me just pop him on really quick.
On that note. So obviously, like we didn't figure out every detail, but I think it's so helpful. You have to see the directions it can go. I think a lot of people think people like me and you sit down at our computer and we say, we're going to do a webinar. It's going to be this date. It's done and dusted. And it's like, we go through the whole creative process ourselves too, of like, what if it works this way? How does it impact that? What if we arrange this and tweak this? Like, and we do this for every single launch.
Yes. And it doesn't matter what level you're at. You're still going to be refining things. Like we're still going to be innovating things. And that's the fun part.
Yeah.
And like, I think a lot of people can get really caught up in like this ideology brainstorming of like, this sounds great. This is what I'm going to do. But then they don't know how to execute it. And
yes.
that's where 5-figure flow comes in because it helps
100%.
you execute. It has helped us execute in such a profound way. Like I was not a planner like this before. I was not, I wanted to be the implementer that I like saw in my head, but like, I just wasn't. And it really changed the way that I do launches and do business because it's like, okay, well, this is what we're going to do this time. It really helps you understand what you're going to do next time. And like, there is a rinse and repeat aspect to this that is going to make everything so much easier. And that's also in your program.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much in there. And what I really want you to tell people is, how they can learn more, because this podcast is coming out right before launch party weekend starts. So if you want to get more of Taylor's insights and knowledge and wisdom, join us for launch party weekend.
Yes. Launch party weekend I've literally been hosting this event for years. And I think that that's a really cool part of launching too. Like we actually own the trademark for launch party week. So anyone using launch party, like that's ours, but it becomes something that's so ingrained and so branded, so familiar, so recognizable. And that's a big thing that I'm going to be talking about over launch party weekend. Like we're talking about business models because that's the foundation of everything. And like the way in which you launch and host your program sets the tone for everything else. So like my launch process is very holistic, where most people just see the middle chunks, the webinar, open doors, all wrapped up, where like, I want you to understand the business model. I want you to understand priming your audience and getting them hot and getting them eager and how to warm them up properly. And then I want you to craft a blueprint that makes sense for you. So we're going to talk about like harmonizing your energy, your preferences, what you like, what excites you, and putting that into a launch plan that's so unique to you, that is templated, but can't be replicated.
Whoa.
And I think that's so good. So it's totally free. Come hang out with us over the weekend. It's going to be so much fun. Your link is alignedandambitious.co/quantum. So we would love to see you there.
alignedandambitious.co/quantum. And I love what you just said. You need to post that for your launch. Like it's everything you just said. Perfect.
Great. Send me this recording.
Okay. So Destiny said, haven't typically been a planner. So I see your calendar and was like, oh, I just literally schedule it. Yes. She said, I love Taylor selling in the DMs training in QCA. It's definitely helped me sign clients.
I love that. So good. Forgot that was in there.
Yeah. And she said, this was so good. I need to go back and watch from the beginning. And she'll be at launch party weekend.
Yay. So excited.
Love Destiny. She's amazing.
Yay.
And I love you. Thank you.
Love you.
Seriously, thank you so much. I feel so much better about this and excited about it. And
I'm so glad. Anything we didn't cover too, just text me, as you're getting closer.
I will. And I can't wait for you guys to join 5-Figure Flow. If that's your path, it's going to be like life-changing for you and your business and all the things. So thank you, Taylor. Where can everyone follow you and connect with you? Yeah,
find me at Taylor Slango over on Instagram. alignedandambitious.co is the website and the podcast. Come say hi.
Cool. Awesome. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye, guys.
Okay, so you just listened to a real, raw, behind the scenes coaching, brainstorming strategy session with Taylor Slango. And my head was literally spinning. I didn't feel fully complete with like our session because I had to go, as you heard. But after that, we kind of regrouped and we came up with the plan. And so just to like close the loop on what the plan is, after sitting with it, it just felt like too much for my energy. And so like this is why her process is so powerful. It's like you have to go with what feels like flow to you. And it just felt like too much for my energy to do this masterclass, this Dream Coach masterclass, and do a 5-day challenge. And as much as I loved all those ideas and it was getting me so excited, after sitting with it and talking with her again about it, I decided that I'm not going to do the challenge and I'm just going to do what I have the most energy towards and around, which is the free Dream Coach Masterclass. Like, I'm so excited about it. I feel lit up about it. The branding lights me up, the marketing, the message, the whole vibe of it is just so aligned and just feels so right. And I'm just going to do that masterclass 3 times live. So instead of doing 3 days of different trainings, I'm going to do the same training 3 different days for different people to show up at different times. And I'm going to put an amazing offer at the end of that training that is going to be like such a no-brainer. And so the next step of like the planning process is figuring out what the bonuses are and what that offer is going to be. But at least I have the structure and the plan in place, and I can't wait for you to experience it. I hope that you come to the Dream Coach Masterclass at the end of October. It's going to be so magical, and I'm so, so pumped. And I'm so grateful to Taylor for taking that time to do that with me and for giving you a behind the scenes look at how the launch process works. And there's so much more that goes into it. That's just a glimpse. But there's also so much about really getting your audience like red hot and freaking ready to buy your offer, to come to your free event, to go to the training, to learn from you. There's an art to that and a craft to that. And that is why 5-Figure Flow is such an amazing program. And I can't wait for you to experience it. So if you have any questions about 5-Figure Flow, just message me. And if you know you're ready to jump in, to learn how to launch, to know the strategy, and I don't know about you, but I need templates. I love templates. If you want to have all of your emails templated out for you, so you know how to get your audience excited and ready. All the sales emails are ready for you to make your own, but the structure of them is there. Everything is in place for you. If you want DM automations, she has them, strategies for DM automations. When someone says, DM me this, and then they get an automatic message, she has everything you need, literally everything you need inside of 5-Figure Flow. It's actually mind-blowing what is available inside this program. So if you know you're ready to have a structure, you're done with like throwing shit against the wall, seeing what sticks, and you want to process, this is the same process that took me from, I don't know, I was maybe doing like $60,000 to $100,000 launch to multi-6-figure launches because of this process, because I learned the strategies and how to prime my audience. If you would love for all of your social media posts to be planned out for you, all of the hooks to be available for you, everything just at your fingertips, this program is an absolute no-brainer. I'm telling you, I would never promote something that I wasn't super, super passionate about, aligned with. I use this program every time we launch. I'm using it again for this next launch. This is what we do, and we have $1 million business. So at any level, it's that you don't have to be at where I'm at all. I wasn't when I first started, and I wish that I had this sooner. I wish that I had all of this so much sooner in my business. So if you have any questions, feel free to message me, but my link is in the show notes. It's also in my Instagram bio to join us in 5-Figure Flow. It's going to be amazing. Woo! We did some work today. Thank you so much for listening. You know I love my BAM fam. If this episode resonated with you, please share it with someone who you know would love it too, because we live for the ripple effect over here. And how can you best support the show? Make sure you're subscribed, hit the 5 stars, and leave a review on iTunes, and let me know how the podcast has impacted you. I love being part of your real-time journey, so screenshot the episode and tag me and my guests on Instagram at Manifest with Ash. Now say it with me. I am my own power source. I am the master of my own energy, and I deserve everything that I desire. We don't just talk about it over here, we be about it. Now go get 'em.